Let's see what spirit is trying to communicate with you. Oh, a lot. Spirit is trying to tell you a lot. All right. This is gonna be a 3-part reading. We starting with radical rebirth. Miyambe Dihanda. I'm still working on my names, but we got 5 coming in. There is some rapid change. If you know anything about fives is about rapid change. You got some change coming in, Bookieee. Whoa. Whoa. Not the radical rebirth. Confirming the radical rebirth. Damn, it's coming in hot. But it's the thing, though. You have to understand. For one thing to come in, other things must be handled, right? So it's like, because you got this new journey that you're going through. When you are trying to come down a new path, you have to understand God sometimes will not allow you to come in with certain ways of thinking, certain patterns, certain people, right? So let's say, for example, you are disorganized, or just like a level of imbalance, to the point where if God gives you too many opportunities at once, you might jeopardize them, or you might fumble them just because you're disorganized, right? And it's almost like this feeling of like, Spirit doesn't want you to regret this time because you're not fully prepared. But this is the thing, whoever you are, you have the skills, like you know how to get organized. It's more of the fear of the effort of putting it in. Like, I feel like you are scared to try. It's not that you don't know how to do it, but I also hear that you struggle to do it consistently. There's an African proverb that goes, devotion over discipline, right? When you're devoted to something, you will become disciplined. But if you try to be too disciplined, like in the beginning, then you'll never be devoted, because there's this, you have a tendency to over commit, right? So instead of like, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym, it's like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. And then when you only go once, then it's like, oh my gosh, that's it. You throw your hands up. And so Spirit is like, for you to be able to enter into this new chapter, you first have to shed this. But you can shed it if you just try, right? Because you're not trying. But you're not trying because you're scared. You're scared to try. Slow and steady, baby. As long as you're taking steps, right? We got the 8 of Wands in reverse. Like, just slow down. Slow your hot ass down. But things are going to start turning in your favor, but you have to go with the rebirth. Spirit is wanting you to get certain blockages out the way, so that way you can fully be seen. It's almost like the thing about clutter. The thing about clutter is, clutter blocks how beautiful your room is. You ever like been cleaning a certain area of your house or decluttering a certain area? And you're like, damn, I got a lot of space. Damn, I love this room. I love the way it looks. It clogs up the space. So you kind of like forget how good this thing actually is, how beautiful this thing actually is. That's the same thing with these patterns that you have to cut off of you. If you finally give yourself space to finally cut off these patterns, baby, are you going to shine? It's almost like Spirit is wanting you to pull back the layers. Like, if you were organized, if you had good time management, if you were making sure that you're in healthy relationships that not only feel safe but are also reciprocal, if you are loving on yourself genuinely, taking care of your body as best as you can, if you even try to do these things as best as you can, it will show your light, because your light can finally shine through. I feel like these barriers, it's almost like people believe that you're a certain way because of your barriers and blockages. And it's like, you be so upset because you're like, no, I'm not just those things. I can do things consistently. But it's like, I need you to show better than you can tell in this season. Okay? People want to know you by your fruit. I encourage you to get into some nature too. Look at this. All right, she's in nature. People know you by your fruit. People know you by what you grow. People know you by what is tangible. So as beautiful as you are, as handsome as you are, I need to see the fruit. What essence, what do you bring, right? And I feel for some of you, there are certain patterns that Spirit is like, they're being amplified at this time because Spirit wants you to see them. If you struggle with anger, and it's a pattern that you can break, and you're choosing not to because you're scared, you're gonna find that amplified during this time. It's everything is shining, even the things that we don't want to shine. Everything is being revealed, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. But you are given the space, and some of y'all are in hermit mode. You're given the space to finally like heal it though. Like in the shadows, you are the devil reverse. You can heal this pattern right now before it becomes a real thing, before it becomes tied to your name, right? Before it becomes part of your identity. You can heal this. You can walk into a new season, right? We got breakthrough here with the 10 of Wands. If you put this load down, it will amplify you into a breakthrough. Because I feel like, let me keep it a buck with y'all, I feel like some of your opportunities are not fully coming in because you haven't cut this pattern. And for some of y'all, this is a pattern that you've dealt with for a very long time. I struggle with ADHD myself, but also trauma. This is an area that you are struggling with. It might sometimes make you miss out on opportunities because you might be so disorganized that, like, let's say for example, you be forgetting to check your email, and because you forget to check your email because it's just a disarray, you miss an email, you miss an opportunity, right? And or too overstimulated by like phone calls or text messages, right? And you struggle with like communicating effectively. Somebody might start to tie that to you, like, and view you in that way, and therefore you might miss out on opportunities because of it. Now, everything that's supposed to come to you will, right? Everything that's yours will come to you, but you also have to make sure that you're doing the work, because it can come to you now. It also can come to you 5 years from now. So, and you don't want to think like, damn, I pushed myself back, I delayed myself because of my own pattern. That's why Spirit is encouraging you to live out loud. And I'm even hearing, forget organization, I'm even hearing fear. Fear holds you back specifically. Fear makes you miss out on your blessings. Your pride, reverse. Your pride is making you miss out on blessings. But to go back, you don't always try. And when you do try, you self-sabotage it. Let's say because you messed up. Let's say you trying to do a diet. And as you're doing the diet, you slip up and eat a cookie. And then for some reason, you throw the whole diet out the window. So fuck the diet because I messed up. And the Spirit is like, are you gonna give up every time? Because a lot of y'all supposed to be connected to a spiritual career. And there's a new beginning that's supposed to come in, but your fear is stopping it. I was just thinking about this yesterday. You remember the story of Jonah in the well, right? If you remember that story, now granted, a lot of us learned it as children in Bible school, but if you remember that story correctly, he was told to do something by God, and he did it because he was afraid. Yes. And so, is this Bible class? With him being afraid, he then tried to run away, and in his running away, he was eaten by a whale. Right now, he survived because God just wanted to get his attention, right? And you be thinking like, why would God send a whale? Well, you didn't listen the first time. So I sent the nice request, and then the next request, I'm gonna get a little more aggressive. So, anyways, I feel like I'm not sure if you want the whale to come eat you, but I would encourage you strongly that you do what God tells you to do, okay? Because the next time God gotta ask, it's not gonna be a pretty sight. Okay, you're gonna be in the middle of a well. Okay, but for real though, this is a rebirth. This is literally your rebirth. The Judgment card is coming out. Baby, you're rebirthing because you got blessings waiting for you. 9 of Cups. Okay, you're the center of attention. You're where everybody is watching. All eyes on you. Amen. And you don't want to miss this. This is literally what you're praying for, but you got steps to get there. Okay. And for some of y'all, healthy love is coming, or it's in the distance, or it's here in this amplifier. But you got some things to get, some priorities to get straight.